All right, we're going to go through a quick tutorial on how to get Excel files linked into Revit. These are for some calculation files in Excel that you would do in Excel, like our outdoor air calculation tables, the exhaust calculation tables, or maybe the electrical fault current or retail load calc that we currently have in Excel, and we just want to import that Excel block into Revit. If we're doing schedule management in Revit itself, that is where this model manager and parameter transformer, that is what we want to use for that. So there's a different tutorial video for that, but this is strictly for linking in Excel files. So to get started, we'll go to the RF Tools and this Draft Excel, which pops up this menu. And just a quick note, they do have this demo video, which is really helpful. If you have any questions or if I miss anything, this video is really good and helps go through all the different options on what this tool can do. So first we'll get started by selecting our Excel file, and I've just created this example folder with a couple different sheets in here for this test. So we browse to this folder. We're going to do the Z test retail outdoor calc. We'll just open it, click the open, and it will open it up, and we will go to process file, and it creates a new view in Excel based on the Excel file. Now the one key to note is that when it links it in, it's looking for these named ranges in the Excel file. And a named range is really simply just a range of cells that have a name. That's all it is. The mechanical outdoor air calcs have these named ranges set up already. And so it's really simple. It's this little drop down right here, this name box. You can just click in here and it will select the name range that is going to be inserted. The beauty of this is it expands or contracts with the cells. So if you add rows or columns, like we need to add a line or add a column or something like that, or if you hide things, that named range keeps track of that. If you don't have a named range, it's really simple to create a new one. You just select the cells that you want in the named range and just click up here in this little box and type in a name of your range. Note that you can't have spaces or dashes. It does do underscores, but no spaces or dashes, so that can get a little confusing, so be mindful of that. So we're just going to do test range, hit enter, and then we'll save it, and that new range should be updated. If we select the file again, it should update with the new range, but I see that it doesn't. So I had to hop out of the this toolbox, hop out of it, hop back in, and reselect the Excel file, and now we can see this new test range. That I won't process that because we don't need that view in here, but you can see it actually works. So that's the good news. So we'll close out of this and hop back into our CAD file, and you can see now that it just creates a new view. It's just a new drafting view that RF Tools creates, and it looks exactly like our spreadsheet. It's just lines, detail lines, and text, but it all looks just like the Excel file. So it's really slick. You can edit this text if you want, but really you probably should be editing the Excel file and relinking it, which we'll go over in a second. And it's just super quick and easy to do that. So really there's no need to edit this text in here. I also want to point out that it starts out by putting it on this coordination view. So in most cases, you will want to move that to your mechanical discipline or electrical, and then again, in most cases, you probably want to put it on the details view. We'll let that take effect. There we go. And now it's in my detail view in the mechanical. And then to get it on the sheet, just like any other detail view, just drag and drop. And there we go. There's my outdoor air calc on the sheet. Pretty quick and simple. If there are changes to the file, again, it's really easy. So if we happen to come back and need to adjust the room area or add a zone or two, to make those changes in Excel, then just save it. And we will go back to Revit and enter the RF tools. And you can see here it highlights this as red and says that it's not current. So it knows and keeps track that the save date is a little different. So all we need to do is just hit Update Selected, and it will make the changes for us. And now you can see that the changes we made, the square footage and the extra lines, automatically come in for us, and they're ready to go. There's other features in all these other options. I won't get into this, but the video goes into a little more detail on what some of those are. I will point out that some of the word wrapping, which is a good point, needs to be adjusted, and your the font and the cell sizes may need to be a little bit bigger than what Excel does. So just be mindful that it takes up a little more space, and it can take a little bit of time to get it set up on the front end. But once you get the Excel file set up, it saves a lot of time. And hopefully, if you make the change on one, let's make sure we all coordinate. And if it's going to be like a prototype Excel file, just make sure that's in a central location so anyone down the road doesn't have to make those same changes to the Excel file every single time. That can be a little finicky, but these outdoor air ones and the exhaust ones have been vetted and should link in and look really great straight off the bat. If you are doing some prototype work where you have the same typical rooms or zones and you just want to kind of keep perpetuating, you've got this view created already, it's on your sheet, you just want to change the path so that it's linking to the new Excel file per the project and not the one from the previous project. That is possible, but it is a little it's a little more cumbersome than it should be, but it is possible. So, for example, I have got this Excel file linked to this path. So it's this project, Hoosier Village Mechanical Example Spreadsheets, and you kind of track in that's exactly where we're at. And this is the name of the file, the Z Test Retail Outdoor Air Calc. To get it to a new path, so for an example, I just put this on the F drive in the retail content test folder with this file name. So it's a different file name, a different folder. All we need to do is just change the source path here, and so far I've not found a great way to do that other than to do it manually. To do it manually, you just hop into the browser bar here, and I'm just going to Control-C to get the main part of the path, and I will pick right in front of this backslash, delete all of that, and then just paste in Control-V, what I just copied. And then I also know that it's the wrong, instead of Z, oops, that's not the one either. Here we go. It's going to be X Test Retail. So again, I'll just hop into this path and hit X Test. And then to save that source path change, I'm going to hit Apply Changes, and now it should be current. So and then I can hit update selected, and probably we will see where this will change back to, if you're looking down here, yeah, you can see that it removed those rows that we had added. It's back to the original. So it is possible to repath it to the new location. It's just a little cumbersome, and you got to be really mindful of your P's and your Q's when you're typing in the source path. And two more other little quick pointers. So let's find this. It updates the columns as well. So like in this case, I want to hide these columns. So if I hide that and hit save, go back to my Revit. I'm going to hop out of that and go back in. Now you can see that again it's flagged it as not current. But if I hit update selected, it should update this so that my areas or space numbers have been deleted. So it keeps track of those areas. The other bit is with the coloring and the shading. The coloring and the shading in Revit comes through a little funny. So if you've got colored or shaded cells, it may not print very well. So just if you have any questions, just check with one of the retail kind of persons, me or Cullen, or someone else who has a little more experience with that, just to get you on the right path as to how to get the shading to work accurately without clouding out the text in your Excel sheet. It is possible. It's just another step or three to get it to work. I think one more final note is with the fonts in Excel. It's probably best to keep the font pretty basic, as in the Excel defaults, so the Calibri. You might be able to get away with a couple other ones, maybe like a Arial or maybe some other pretty standard and straightforward fonts, but we have seen some issues when it is a non-standard font, even perhaps the Dunham standard of that Accidents Grotesque, where it does not transfer into to Revit. Revit doesn't know what to do with that type style, and so there's big problems in the converting. It doesn't look right when it comes through. So it's best just to keep everything pretty basic and simple, pretty standard to the Excel defaults, and you shouldn't have any trouble. That should do it.